Hi everyone, Lou here from the Team Approach, and welcome to the EAP Counsellor podcast number 29. Can't believe we are almost at the big 30. I hope you are all well. Welcome to another new week, and yes, we are very quickly the weeks are just flying, aren't they? So fast. November is cruising along at an exceptional rate, and December will be here before we know it. Today I wanted to talk about strategy, and in particular talk about wellbeing strategy, and talk about what it is and why it is important. Quite often when I'm in and out of workplaces, and probably in particular when I'm first talking to potential EAP business partners and workplace wellbeing partners, in those really early, even first conversations with business owners and leaders who are really interested in wellbeing and implementing a wellbeing program for their business, for their people, and as well putting in an EAP counselling services program. I mention wellbeing strategy and talk about the importance of and the need for businesses to have a wellbeing strategy, and as part of that strategy is providing EAP counselling services. There are also other components to having a wellbeing strategy and what the strategy looks like and the program and everything. But EAP, the way I see it, is part of or an inclusion in a wellbeing program, which comes from having a wellbeing strategy. So as mentioned, when I first start talking to interested business owners and leaders in workplaces about potentially partnering together, and I talk about wellbeing strategy, I get asked, well, what is a wellbeing strategy? And fair enough, it's a very good question, especially when all of the work that I do in the wellbeing space is driven by and from a wellbeing strategy. So I thought today I would talk more about wellbeing strategy, what that means, what it looks like, why it's important, and then talk about some components of workplace wellbeing and or a workplace wellbeing program, what that might and could look like in different workplaces, and obviously why it's just so important to have. A wellbeing strategy is like a blueprint for an organisation, for a business. What's important about the strategy or the blueprint is that it needs to align with and support the broader vision and culture of the business, and it needs to address the wellbeing needs that have been identified. So we can't just create a wellbeing strategy without doing a wellbeing appraisal, without investigating, without researching, without gathering data in each workplace, because the strategy needs to be informed by the information that we get, the information and the data that we gather through completing a workplace wellbeing appraisal. And I find doing workplace wellbeing appraisals and working alongside businesses through an appraisal process is really empowering. We find out lots and lots of information and things. We form a baseline as to what is already happening on the wellbeing front in a workplace, and we find out what needs to be happening, where to next and why. And we get a very good snapshot of the organisation, of the goals, and objectives of the organisation, and what needs to be done, and the direction that we need to take, so that the Wellbeing Strategy, which is a blueprint, really defines the workplace, like well-being in the workplace, and it very much is in alignment with that workplace, and that it is customized and personalized for that workplace. So a strategy, a wellbeing strategy, typically consists of a series of goals, objectives, and strategies. So within that, now, whether they be at the individual level, an environmental level, a policy level, or a cultural level, it needs to have clear measures of success, and we need to be able to demonstrate the value back to the business. A wellbeing strategy could also be called a wellbeing initiative or a wellbeing policy. There's no right or wrong in regards to it, and quite often it probably would have been called a wellbeing policy. Workplaces traditionally have lots of policy documents. There are so many different policy documents that we have, that we need to have, that businesses have. A wellbeing strategy could also be called a wellbeing policy. It is another document that talks about well-being and what it looks like and why it's important within an organisation, the goals, the objectives, the strategies within it, and how it aligns with the business and the people. And obviously it's a document it's a workable document, and it helps businesses and organisations to embed a culture of well-being throughout their organisation. The strategy must align with the organisation's goals and must reflect the businesses and the people's needs as well. And it's more than just complying with work health and safety and OH&S legislation and regulations. That's important. That's absolutely important. And, we need to have a wellbeing strategy or a wellbeing policy as part of compliance, but it's more than that as well. It's holistic, and it absolutely strengthens health and wellbeing in an organisation. What's also important to know is it looks upstream. It's far more preventative and proactive in nature, which is important. Traditionally, wellbeing and even EAP programs have been more reactive. It's, we have a problem, let's try and fix it. The trouble is the problem's already there. We haven't put any initiatives or things in place before to try and prevent. We haven't been proactive, but we come in because there is a problem. Usually it's a big one, and it's like we put a Band-Aid over it, which means we're not going to get long-term traction and results from that. We might fix a problem right here, right now, but it's not going to go away because we need to be far more preventative and proactive in regards to it. So a strategy helps us to build internal capabilities, which we need to drive the strategy or the policy. It needs to be instilled and embedded at grassroots level, because when we embed a strategy, whatever policy it is, and obviously in this podcast I'm talking about well-being, our purpose and our goal is to embed the strategy so that it sticks. And that is really important. That's where we get traction. That's where it becomes preventative. That's where we get results. And that's where we have a mentally healthy workplace, which is what we're all working towards. Why, you may be asking, is a wellbeing strategy so important? And if you are asking that, I'm glad that you are, because I'm going to tell you. The purpose of a workplace wellbeing strategy is to prioritise make number one, dare I say, and promote the well-being of employees within an organisation, and to absolutely align well-being to the business's vision, mission, values and goals. That makes it purposeful. That gives it direction and helps us to embed it into all policies. So we know that we've all navigated lots and lots of uncertainty over the past, 5 to 10 years throughout Australia. And, COVID-19 was also really the icing on the cake. And from natural disasters, from COVID-19, health and wellness has, never been so pivotal and so important. And it's really made us look at what we do and why we do it and what we need to do, what we might need to get better at, clearer at, etc. And, workplace wellbeing is an area that we can absolutely really do a lot of work in this space and reap some very positive rewards for our people and for our businesses as well. A strategy gives us a very clear, measured approach rather than a scattergun approach. And potentially, like traditionally, businesses and workplaces have had a scattergun approach where they might hear and think, oh yeah, well-being's important. We care about our people. We care about well-being. Oh, what are we going to do? Oh, let's do this and let's do this and let's do this as well. I think that would be really good. But there's no thought around why we might be doing those things and what outcomes do we want to achieve and receive from those things. Taking a strategic approach means we're taking a planned approach, a measured approach. We are clear, we are concise, everything has a purpose and a reason behind it, and everything is measurable so that we are taking a step-by-step process to implement a strategy that is going to be lasting, is going to have impact, and is going to be very beneficial. Having a very clear plan of attack in regards to well-being absolutely helps us to address needs, to address what we've learnt and found out through the appraisal. Because during an appraisal process, we are identifying the needs of the business and the needs of the people, and what the people want and what the business wants and needs. And we're able to respond to those needs, and we're able to have input from the people as well, so that the strategy is very reflective of and representative of the people. Because if we want our employees' buy-in into a wellbeing strategy, and if we want a mentally healthy workplace, we need to develop a strategy in consultation with our people, aligned to the business goals and mission and vision and values. That then is going to give it traction, and we're going to be so much better able to embed it. As I said, input from people at all levels is very important, and it starts at the appraisal level. It continues through the strategy development level and the policy creation, and it continues then through the rollout, the step-by-step rollout of a wellbeing strategy plan and program. And, by having a working group in an organisation to help design and create a wellbeing strategy and roll it out, it means we have employee buy-in, opt-in the whole way through. We're also reflecting. We are also pivoting, where we need to, because of our assessments and our reflections, so that we are getting maximum engagement. And, we want the sustainability around it as well. A wellbeing strategy is the right thing to do. I truly believe that, and my mentors also believe that. And I recently completed a fantastic course through Wellness Designs, and it was one of the best courses that I've done, all around developing wellbeing strategy, and, embedding it into the culture of a workplace, and, how to do it and what to do, and working alongside businesses and everything like that. It was fantastic. And part of the Wellness Designs course that I did talked a lot about a wellbeing strategy is not only the right thing to do, it's also the legal thing to do, and it is the smart thing to do. And I think that those three statements are really important driving forces in regards to wellbeing strategy. We spend so much of our life at work and, in the workplace and potentially with colleagues, because according to the World Health Organization, because we spend a third of our life at work and in the workplace, work has been identified as an ideal setting for prevention by the World Health Organization, which is amazing. We have a platform, we have a place where we can really make a difference and have an impact in regards to health and well-being. Work is that place. So it is absolutely the right thing to do and the right place to do it at work. And as we are developing wellbeing strategies and implementing programs and initiatives in workplaces that obviously are customised to the workplace, as we're doing that, we are complying. So it's the legal thing to do. Absolutely. Employers have a duty of care to provide a safe and healthy environment. And that includes employers and leaders and managers and employees. It includes everyone doing everything reasonably and practically possible to minimise physical and psychological risks in the workplace. Now, over the last however many years, we've got good at the physical risks in the workplace. And we're now actually putting the psychological back into physical and psychological risks in the workplace. Like, we're putting the psychological risks back into health and safety, which is fabulous. It's always been there, absolutely, but now the emphasis is being and has been really ramped up, which is fabulous, and it needs to be. So compliance-wise, we do need to be compliant. It is the legal thing to do, having a wellbeing strategy, plan and program. And of course, as Katrina Johnson from Wellness Design says, it's the smart thing to do. We know that healthy employees are more engaged and more productive, and there's just so much research to support that. So 3 key statements to hold in your mind. A wellbeing strategy is the right thing to do, the legal thing to do, and the smart thing to do. So one workplace that I have been working alongside and working with in regards to designing and creating a wellbeing strategy, which will then be the starting blocks to creating a wellbeing program in the workplace that has buy-in from employees, that we're really excited about. So the goal in one particular workplace that I am working alongside is to develop a leading edge health and wellbeing strategy and program that supports an engaged, safe and resilient workforce. So that is the goal. From that goal, we create and develop the strategy, which then forms a plan, which then forms a program that's rolled out step by step, so that we are constantly embedding health and safety into everything that we do. And it's really, really exciting. Really exciting. In regards to wellbeing strategies and plans, it's important to look at this as a long-term process as well. 12 months would be the minimum, absolute minimum, that we would be designing and creating a wellbeing strategy for. We will see shifts and changes, and there will be impact over 12 months or over a 12-month period, but the main biggest shifts and impact and change is going to happen over a 5-year time frame. So when we are doing this work, we really do need to look at long term. We need to sort of invest for a 5-year period, assessing and monitoring the whole way through. And that's where we really are going to see the most amount of traction, which is really, really exciting. It's also been exciting to talk with workplaces about creating a wellbeing working group, like a steering committee, to get employee buy-in and to have representatives from all levels of workplaces. And what has been really exciting is actually getting buy-in from people, putting the wellbeing working group out, invitation to employees to become part of that group, and having application forms, if you call it that, or expression of interest forms, and seeing the forms come in and reading them. It's really great. It's really inspirational and just so positive as well. One particular workplace has had over 10 people put their hands up and fill out an expression of interest form to be part of a wellbeing working group. And I've just been blown away by the level of interest and what's been completed on the forms. It's fantastic. Another great idea and inclusion in a wellbeing strategy is to have wellbeing champions. Like, say, for example, 5% of the workforce are wellbeing champions, and there are roles and like a role description that is important in regards to that. And wellbeing champions, if a workplace was to have them, they play a very pivotal role in wellbeing. It's important to have a supporting consultant, helping you and working alongside you, who specialises in workplace wellbeing and wellbeing strategy and mentally healthy workplaces. We don't know what we don't know, but working alongside someone, and I work alongside lots of workplaces in regards to this. It's a very positive thing to do, and a really positive relationship to have as well, to be supported through the process, and obviously supported and trained and educated so that you in your workplace can take over yourselves. You have the capacity, the skills and the knowledge to then continue the strategy without the need for support. But, we've all got to start somewhere. Monitoring and evaluation is always important, just so important to, ongoing, to be monitoring and evaluating. It drives future planning programs and wellbeing initiatives. And as I mentioned right at the start of this podcast, EAP counselling services, it really needs to be implemented, and EAP forms part of your wellbeing strategy. It's a very important and very positive inclusion, and it allows for the one-on-one support, whereas lots of the other components of a wellbeing strategy is the group side, or the one-to-many aspects of it through training and education. EAP gives the one-on-one support, which is very important. When we create a wellbeing strategy plan and program, we work through a framework. It's a step-by-step process, and we work through a framework so that at every step along the way, it has purpose, it's personalised and customised, and it stops us from taking a scattergun approach, which is what we don't want to do, but absolutely allows us to make sure that the needs, interests, priorities of the business and the people and, the data, trends, etc. from the appraisal are all part of the wellbeing strategy and design, so that we get maximum engagement and obviously sustainability as well, because we need to embed wellbeing into the culture of a business, which is what we want to do. It needs to have longevity, and we really need to take a long-term view to it. When I am talking to businesses about wellbeing and wellbeing strategies and plans and programs, I talk to them about the 4-pillar approach to workplace wellbeing, which is what I do. I approach it in regards to 4 pillars. So pillar number 1 being we create a wellbeing strategy that's linked to the business values and goals. Number 2 is leadership. Leaders influence the overall work environment, employee experiences, and organisational culture. We need to have effective leaders because they are the ones that provide support and offer resources and trainings to help employees manage their workload, navigate challenges, and enhance their skills. So, training and education and coaching around wellbeing and compassionate leadership is a must and just, so important. EAP, as I've said, is crucial, important, imperative, and it's a cost-effective solution for organisations, and it helps people to address work-life balance and stress management issues, provides support for personal and professional challenges, and helps people to develop a toolkit of strategies and resources to help them to navigate change and issues and barriers and challenges. And of course, education and workplace training is imperative. It's needed to increase awareness and understanding and to prevent risks. We develop skills, empower employees, and contribute to a supportive organisational culture through education and training. And, it's just so important to empower our employees to take responsibility for their wellbeing and to foster a healthier work environment. So those 4 pillars are incorporated into everything that we design and create and sort of build out in regards to a plan and a program. And I talk with business leaders and managers and business owners about that. And, that's how we customise the plan and the program and the strategy for businesses as well, which is very, very important. I have been really loving the work that I've been doing alongside the businesses that I've been working with and helping design and create wellbeing strategies and plans and programs, as well as implementing EAP. It's been a fabulous few months. And there's a lot of traction in regards to the development of these strategies and, some amazing workplaces who are doing amazing things. And, they're blowing me away with the amount that they're taking this on and, being real change makers and so supportive and really instrumental in what they're doing. And that works with collaboration. Collaboration is key. It's so important. It's all about working together. It's all about, effective communication and sharing of information and supporting one another and, communicating to our people every step of the way, what's happening and why it's happening, and, really communicating measures of success and survey results and all those sorts of things as well. We need to get everyone on board, and we need to do that through collaboration and through effective communication. I've just, as I said, been blown away by what's been happening in this space and the people that I'm working alongside. I feel very privileged and honoured to be working in this space and to be working with the people and the businesses that I am. I take my hat off to those people that, we're really creating some amazing resources and traction and everything in the space. If you or someone is interested in finding out more about workplace wellbeing and workplace wellbeing strategies, plans, programs, and also EAP counselling services, please get in touch. I would love to chat to you about what I'm doing in this space, what the team approach is, all about what we're doing and the difference that we are trying to make in this world. So, do love talking to like-minded people and partnering with like-minded businesses. You can email me at info@theteamapproach.com.au, or you can give me a call 0370 431010. Would love to hear from you. Have an amazing week, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. A bit of a longer one today, but a very important podcast nonetheless. I hope that you have learnt a lot. I hope there's lots of food for thought for you there. Have an amazing week, and I look forward to the next episode coming your way soon. Thanks, everyone. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. If you would like to find out more or just get in touch, my Instagram handle is @theEAPCounsellor. Everyone deserves to be surrounded by a great team, and together we can make a difference.